Thank you very much, BIM Africa, for having me here. And I've been attending some of your, I think most of your webinars in the past. And I'm delighted to be here today. And it's my privilege to be here today as a speaker. And thank you for that. Before I start, I would like to say two things. One is I want to say something about Ethiopian BIM Society. The Ethiopian BIM Society is a society that we have founded in 2019, and it is still needs more restructuring at the moment. And the society started, at first there were some BIM professionals from UK, Germany, and the United States. We've been traveling to Ethiopia, which is our my country of origin, and we've been doing a kind of BIM awareness in the country in different areas, just as a silos, just as individuals. And but later we just found out that there are some people who are doing the same thing, separately in academias, in government organizations and universities and so on. So thanks to LinkedIn, with LinkedIn, we just become as one group. And as BIM is a collaboration by itself, we just made it like the same principle as BIM, which is we collaborate together from different countries, including some people from Ethiopia, and we managed to have the Ethiopian BIM Society. And now we've been running some webinars, and we've been supporting students in the universities doing some of their projects with BIM. So we are doing some work over there. And the second one is, I just want to say, let me just share my screen for the time being. I just want to say something on, can you see my screen now? Hello? Hello?
Yes, you can see.
Can you see my screen? Okay. Yes. Okay, now I just want to say something because it was on my video. I couldn't see my, okay. If you see my video at the back, can you see you can see something at the back, which is the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Maybe you have heard about it, most people. It is the biggest dam in Africa that's going to be, that's at the moment is under construction, and it will be maybe finished in the next, maybe a year or two. And this, I just want to say something about this dam. This is the biggest dam, and it is on the Nile River. And I think it will be, once it's finished, it will be delivering electricity and more digitalization to the Ethiopian and as also to the sub-Saharan African countries, feeding electricity to more than 65 million homes. So all Africans has to support this dam. I just want to say something about that. Having said that, I'm going back to my presentation. It's about building information modeling as an enabler for digital transformation. So I'll start with Industry 4.0, which we are in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution at the moment. And this industrial revolution started from the first, we are on the fourth now, on the fourth industrial revolution. We had three in the past. The first one was started as a revolutionizing the agriculture and using the steam power and building roads and bridges, and steam railways came to existence at that time. And the second industrial revolution was about electricity, when electricity was discovered. For the construction industry, this electricity was a very good discovery, because construction was made a little bit easier by using hand power tools, small machineries, replacing hard labor. And the third one was we came to a generation of computers where we start the digital era. And you know, the first computers were like as big as a room, and they were very, very huge in size. But since then, modernizing the computers, they are becoming very small and smaller and smaller, and now we're in the mobile phones and other gadgets as well. And at that time, it was like MS-DOS programming was started since 1953, and then there was MS-DOS and later Windows 3.1 or 3.0. And without all of us, we remember, maybe those of us more than 15, 20 years old, we remember that there were floppy disks, CDs, DVDs that we have been using in the past, but now they are disappearing because of the digital era is progressing to the more advanced technologies. And there was also in 1990, if you remember, if people remember that, there was the World Wide Web, WWW, the .com era, where there was a kind of, people remember that there was, when it started, there was this digital dial-up modem, the dial-up modem, which makes a noise. Even people walking outside can hear you that there is internet in that house or not. By just whenever you are logging, there is a noise coming out from that dial-up modem. So these are all the past thing that we remember in this digital towards the journey towards digitalization. Now, since then, innovative was at a record pace, and innovation was increasing because of the digital, the way we use our digital technology is increasing. It's increasing at a record pace, and many businesses came to the .com world. Like Uplink, for example, is 40 years old, but they have been going on still until this time. And like Google is like 20 years old. They are very, very growing up and very fast. And that many came to the competitions, and most of them failed, and some of them progressed to the new technology, applying the technology, and just growing up together because they are adopting change, because they are accepting change and changing themselves with the technology. So this digital world brought enthusiasm and uncertainty to this world. The uncertainty and the enthusiasm are and brings at the same time resistance and innovation. The resistance is because some companies, some organizations fear the change that's coming towards them, and they don't want to try it, they don't want to go in it. So because of that resistance, they failed, and those who have got enthusiasm into this digital world, they just brought change to the organization and make more innovations, and then gone towards applying this technology, and then growing to the next step. What's digital transformation? And you might find a lot of definitions on digital transformation or a lot of explanations, but I will take this one from an article by Enterprise Projects. Digital transformation is the integration of digital technology into all areas of business, fundamentally changing how you operate and deliver value to customers. It's also cultural change that requires organization to continually challenge the status quo, experiment, and get comfortable with failure. Here we can see that there are three areas that I highlighted here. This digital transformation is into all areas of business. It's not like only for marketing or advertising or something like that. We have to use it in all areas of business. And also, we have to accept a cultural change. We have to accept ourselves to change the way we work. And also experiment the new technology in different ways, having a good strategy. We have to do all this. Then even if we fail, our failure will be comfortable so that we can get back again very quickly. But if you are not experimenting, we are getting out of the business, we are getting out of the digital transformation world. And construction is the same. We have to apply all these technologies to transform construction into a more digital world. So having said that, I will say, what is BIM? What's BIM? We talk about BIM a lot of times. Maybe you heard about many definitions, but I will take, because as a standard, we have now BSEN ISO 19650, which came out in 2018. And I will say, take that definition, and BIM is a use of a shared digital representation of a built asset to facilitate design, construction, and operation processes to form a reliable basis for decisions. Here we go again. When we link this with digital transformation, we have a shared digital representation, which is a digital one. So we can share information digitally to other clients, stakeholders, and all other teams within our group as well. Also, we can put all asset information together so that we can use the building information, the building information, not only for design, not only for construction, also for facility management, and beyond that, for renovation, and also servicing, as well as demolition. So this is all we have to keep it digitally. And also this digital information can make us to form a reliable basis for a good decisions as well. We can make a good decision by using this digital information that we are sharing with other teams and groups and stakeholders. The other one is creating information models or data sets formed of a graphical and non-graphical information in a shared digital space known as common data environment. This CD, the information builds in the richness of the project stages progress until the complete data set is handed over to the client at completion. So when we have a common data environment, such as, for example, like it can be either cloud, or maybe in Africa, it might be very difficult to get a cloud, to get into a cloud system because of the resources that we have. But we can do like a good server as well with a good backup. We can do that. When we say digital transformation in Africa, we shouldn't look into a very expensive use of like what's coming later in this presentation, the very sophisticated ones. We have to start from the simplest way, from the simple one. Like, for example, what do you have in our offices? In our offices, what do you have in our offices, which we can use a digital information to share information with other clients, also with our own teams in our office. For example, when I go back to Ethiopia, I go to some offices and I just see a kind of a shelf full of folders, files with lots of drawings, with paper drawings. And also I can see a lot of piled up A3, A1, A0 drawings on the tables. All this information are kept as a paper copy, but not in a digital format. So that is the very simple thing, the very easier thing to start with. We have to start from there. We have to start digitalization of our offices to convert them, every information that we have, on a digital style. Also, we have to create like libraries, for our models, or change our 2D details into 3D details, so that we can use them for the future. Building the libraries is one of the digital transformation process. So we can do all that starting from simple things instead of going to the more sophisticated things in one go. It's better to start from the simple and then grow up slowly with the transformation. Why digital transformation? Why you need digital transformation? Because it is a new digital way of working, one, and also it transforms an organization into a more lean, efficient, and productive organization. It will make more efficient, we can do more efficient job, more productive by using digital way of working. For example, like shared resources are the main things that we can do, not only with our own company, with other companies as well. We can form a kind of agreement with them to have, for example, if you are working on the same project with 2-3 companies, we can come together and use a kind of shared resources kind of mechanism between organizations. And digital transformation is not exclusively about digital technology, but the fact that technology which is digital, we have got the technology that's digital, and that will enable us, the organization, to create greater informed decisions around current and future challenges. What do we have, like, for example, what's our communication with our clients? What's our communication with our customers? How can we make it easier by using the digital technology that we have? For that, we need to have an objective and we need to have a strategy first. Then once we have those, we can find out which technology is suitable for us, and then we can spend money on that. Otherwise, if you are just decorating all the offices with the good computers, with all these digital technologies, and then we are not doing anything on them, it will be like a waste of money. So we don't want to waste money. We don't want waste. We want to save money and to save also our time as well. So this is the best way to go forward. What are the 4 pillars of digital transformation? One is interoperability, which is a full exploiting of the capabilities of connected devices to deliver better experiences. We have to have a connected devices that can give us a good experience of working with each other, because at the end of the day, we need a collaboration between each other, between us, and innovation comes from collaboration. Connecting digital processes, integrating end-to-end digital processes to efficiently deliver outcomes. And technical assistance, transforming technology practice to support continuous delivery of evolution and offering it at scale. So we need a kind of a good IT services which can advise us on the kind of technology that we are going to use and a kind of technology practices that we are going to bring to our organization. This all brings like, it's empowering.
Mr. Taylor, your speaker is on mute. Is mute.
Sorry. Okay. Just now, yeah. Because I was going to move something. Okay. So we can empower digital innovation by empowering, making people and processes and technology all together. So that's the way we have to go forward with the digital transformation. Why we need a digital culture? Because we need a digital culture because of the increasing pace of change. The increasing pace of change means now we are in a time where technology is about moving very, very fast. And digital technology are coming in a very complicated ways, and we have to adapt to them. And this pace of change is creating fierce competition and also creating an incredible organization doing incredible things we couldn't imagine at the moment. Because of competition, there are many organizations now doing a lot of stuff that we never imagined that it will exist at this time. Some are going very fast ahead. Some are still practicing, bringing in new things. So which is very useful for every one of us in this world. For example, like one of the biggest taxi company, Uber, have no taxis at all, but it is running millions of taxis in the whole world. And the other company that I can mention is Airbnb, which has no property at all, but it is running lots of properties at the hotels by renting them to people with a good price. So these kind of things, as we can use them as the new channels, tools, and business models. Like Amazon, for example, is when it started, Amazon started as selling a book, delivering by postage from to their homes. But now Amazon is doing a lot of things as well. So this kind of digital transformation, we need it in the construction sector as well. And why we need BIM as well? If you talk about digital transformation, we need BIM for construction industry because it improves delivery of a project in terms of quality, and it enhances coordination and collaboration between the stakeholders throughout the project lifecycle, and it reduces time and cost. If you do properly the BIM project, everything done properly from the conception to the completion, that will reduce time and cost. It has been proven. But in most cases, still, BIM is not fully applicable in many organizations because still we are going into our traditional way of working. Like, for example, there was a case where I came across people are using emails to exchange drawings and documents and anything to do with the projects, while having a cloud system or a CDE, a common data environment on the project. Because sometimes we come out of the new way, sometimes we can't cope with that one. So we just go back to the traditional. But that will cost us a lot of things because sometimes going through emails will be very, very difficult to get a drawing that has been sent to us like 3-4 months ago. But if you are using the CDE properly with a proper folder structure and proper access to everyone that is on the project with a good security, then we can reduce time and the cost of the project. And we can standardize the requirements and the specs and facilitate generation of bill of quantities. So these are all the way why we need BIM. The 4 pillars of BIM are like, it goes with the 4 pillars of the digital transformation. These are process, which are standards, processes, procedures, lean design management, and information management, and information project delivery. All these kind of things are going with the process. And people, on the people, we have leadership, collaboration, skills, and responsibilities. Here, we have to train people to use the digital technologies, the softwares we are using, and the way the BIM process is working. We have to train them properly for them to be part of the project. Technology, we have to investigate what technologies we are using in order to do our job properly. There are BIM modeling, simulations, interoperability, and integration, all these kind of technologies. Policy, we need a policy for working with standards, project guidelines, legal and contractual procurement, and delivery plan. So these are all interconnected with the digital transformation. By applying this properly, we can transform our organization to work digitally and collaborate with other contractors, subcontractors, or any person, any company with that project. So we've been hearing a lot about construction company. The construction sector is lagging behind all other sectors, such as manufacturing, utilities, and banking, and all these kind of things. If you see on the, this is from McKinsey and Global Institute, and it is construction is just above agriculture. So construction has to do a lot on the digital transformation to have a cost-effective and efficient working practice. And this is, we have to see from a different point of view. Like one of the main point here is, as BIM is that the BIM is the enabler for digital transformation for the construction sector. So, for example, when I start going to Ethiopia 5-6 years ago and talking about BIM, nobody knew about the BIM. They call it BIM most of the time. Even some people, they were confusing it with like the BIM that we use for constructions. But the way most people, we go there and deal with academia and companies to have the awareness, to increase the awareness. And even now, I can see in the last 5 years, there is a big change of people awareness of BIM. It's increasing now. People know about BIM and they just want to know more about BIM. They just want to learn more about BIM. And even universities are now very interested with BIM technology and process. And there are many students who are doing their master's thesis and research on PhD on BIM. And I've been asked a lot of information from students over there because on Ethiopian BIM Society, we have this BIM webinar every 2 weeks. And we give this webinar to them. And then we have also a Telegram channel that we are connected with them. And we are exchanging a lot of information. So many people are aware of BIM at the moment in Africa. And there are some countries who are doing a lot, we are doing very good. For example, South Africa is a very good example, transforming the construction sector in South Africa, going towards BIM a lot and using digital technologies. So that's what we have to do. All of us we have to do now, because the banking industry, for example, is very advanced, connecting with their clients, with their customers in a very efficient way. So we have to do the same, to use the BIM to connect our service, the office with the site, to connect our organization with another organization, to connect one contractor with another contractor or with us subcontractors underneath them. So construction industry, there are challenges on it. what are the challenges? When you say what are the challenges are underperformance. For example, 69% of clients believe that contractors' performance is the main reason for poor construction. Contractors' performance most of the time is poor because most of the time, many contractors have subcontractors under them. Even the main contractor is a very efficient, digitally good, and working in BIM environment, whatever it is. The subcontractors at the bottom, whenever you're going down, it's becoming more of like a very small people having a construction company, or it might be one or two people, for example. It's called a company or an organization, but they don't want to spend money, a lot of money, to do more jobs, to do these construction jobs. They just want to have their own limited resources, and they just want to use that. Because of that, it's affecting the contractors as well for delays, poor quality designs, and not efficient kind of working practices. So we have to go all the way down to improve our service with the digital technologies. And we have to enforce lots of companies, many companies, even though they are small, to use the BIM technology. And the main challenge of the construction industry is the construction sector is the rework. We have, because we are not collaborating with other companies, with other contractors, with other subcontractors, there will be a rework that is coming back to us all the time. The design work is like, it's a repetitive work. We send out a drawing, it will come back again, it will come back again and again and again. The revision is going up and up all the time. So there is labor shortage as well in the construction industry. There is poor project information, delivering incorrect data that causes risk. And productivity is very low in construction industry as well. Construction industries, they don't adopt the digital technologies because of some of the problems that the construction sector as a whole have at the moment, which is its lack of replication. For example, if you go to manufacturing, you just produce one item, one product, and then we can produce thousands and thousands of them within a very short period of time, because it is the replication is a very big way of working in the manufacturing. But on construction, that's difficult, because no construction project is the same. So we have different projects, and they are totally different. They are far away from each other. And because of that, there is a big challenge to apply digital technologies. Decentralization, still we have got like so many companies working with us, but we are not centralizing to one area, which is like a common data environment. Because of that, it's not possible to apply, because some companies they have a good digital technology, some they don't have that much. So because of that, the gap between these companies makes it difficult to apply the same kind of digital technology on one project even. And there is a constant change that's applying because of the way we are working is changing due to technologies as well. That constant change, some companies, they can't afford to have it because it needs some investment. So because of that, it's difficult to apply the digital technology again. Fragmentation, still we have said that, for example, having different projects in different areas, it will be difficult to apply digital technologies in this kind of situation as well. 4 practices that makes successful implementation of digital transformation that we need to follow is are operational changes prior to IT solutions. As I said earlier, we don't need to have the IT, the technology in front of us before we have operational changes. First of all, we need to accept that there is a digital culture that we are going to go with. If you are working still in a traditional way, and we are not going to change that, that might be very difficult to apply. New systems and softwares, for example, we need to know how we can use them. For example, if there is one software we need and we just buy that with a good amount of money, and if you are only using for one project and then we are not using it for the next one or the next after, that will be also a very damaging in terms of cost for the companies. So we need to have operational change first. We have to have a strategy. We have to have an objective to apply a good digital transformation. Develop a collaboration with digital means. We have to have a collaboration between organizations, or even in our organization, we have different departments. We have to have all collaboration. We shouldn't work in one department only and then leave the other department on its own. That will delay still the process of the way we're doing. So we have to do a collaboration as a whole in the company. Upskilling teams, we have to give training. We have to educate people. We have to, whenever there are new technologies coming that are useful for us, we have to get a good training on that and then update people with the technology that's coming or upgrading, and then that will keep us in a very good way to implement digital transformation. Connect projects to unlock impact across the organization. For example, if there are 3-4 different disciplines in our company, we have to put them together to work together so that they can exchange shared resources, they can exchange ideas, they can exchange everything that we have on that project together, and then we can correct mistakes at the same time, also increase the efficiency on the project or within the organization. But when you talk about digital technologies, we are, as I said earlier, for example, especially in our continent, in Africa, we need to consider starting from the basics from our offices. Do we have the right technology that we can use in our office to start with? Do we have the right training? Do we have the right people? And do we have set up the right process? These are the main things that we have to think of first. And then we can find out about what digital technologies are there out there in other world. Still might be some of them might be still be usable in Africa as well at the moment, but still we can use them in a very smaller scale as well. We shouldn't be afraid of them, to be honest. And we can use these technologies, which are already a reality at the moment. The construction industry are using them, some of them, for example, robotics and drones. Robotics are for like bricklaying and things like that. Drones are used for scanning. For example, in the past, it has been taking like a week or 2 to scan an area, but now with drones, you can scan it within hours or an hour or 2. the connected job sites, and 3D printing is coming now with printing with 3D printed houses, and affordable to some like very developing countries. They are using them at the moment. VR, AR, which we can use them to have a project, the site coming to our office as well. And digital twins. Digital twins are mainly, if we use them for utilities, for example, is very, very useful, because having the utilities in a digital twin as a, for example, at one city or one area, then that information can be used by different service providers like telecoms, electrics, water and gas, and every other providers as well. So we can use those kind of things. And then smart buildings are coming as well. AI and machine learning, we can use them for to reduce repetitive works, and Internet of Things and sensors, we can use them as well. These are all reality. So Internet of Things, for example, smart cities and circular economy are already affecting the way we design and build things. Implementation of robotics and artificial intelligence technologies to our industry are coming now. These are all helps more data for better accuracy. We have more data in our system that will make us more accurate on what we are doing. The impact of future technologies on small, medium, and enterprise companies. And this small, medium companies are also have to get used to use these technologies. 3D printing, we said about it. And also robotics, we are using them for so many in the construction industry as well. There are robotic workers, drones, artificial intelligence. There is one site here, which you can see like when they are doing some, the drones are building doing a building. Gramazio and Kohler, this is a German company. They are using drones to build, to do some building, to do some construction. So artificial intelligence, which is robotics, is all about hardware, and this is about software. So these are all, we are using them, augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. They are coming to our offices at the moment, and we can use them to see what is outside on the site in our while sitting in our offices. So these are all that they are at the moment. We are using them in a very, very limited area, but in the near future they will be like very, very common. So we have to know about all these digital technologies. In the conclusion, BIM and digital twin, smart cities, cloud-based services, blockchain, circular economy thinking, all of this will change much about the way we work in our industry. And with adoption of 3D printing, robotics, artificial intelligence, and virtual reality, even that is set to change. And tomorrow's buildings will combine 3D printed elements and human crafted parts. And tomorrow's workforce as well, it will be a mixture of human and robotics. So we can see robots doing a lot of work with humans as well. And with every phase of industrial revolution, since the harnessing of steam, we start from steam, now to the newest innovations, we alter the way we live and work forever. With that, I'll say thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Sileshi, for the insightful and educative session. Now we would take question and answer questions. If you have questions, you could send them to the chat, or you could just unmute your mic and ask your questions. If you have questions based on the presentation, you could send them to the chat or unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hello.
Hi, Abdul.
Yeah, so I'm Abdul. Thank you, Mr. for your presentation. It was great. So looks like you just went over everything basically, so I can say. So I just have a question, but before I ask that question, I just wanted to kind of like contribute a little bit on the side of BIM for construction and BIM for operations that the presenter makes really very clear. So, so far we have been using BIM for construction. So how to model things, how to visualize, how to do this, how to do this, how to use this software. So far we have a lot of information on that. But I think this presentation is more about how do we use BIM for basically life cycle of a project after its construction, basically. So it's kind of a coming into what we call 7D, basically, facility management part. So it's basically more about BIM for operation. So, and that is right now, I think, where we're heading in terms of using BIM, basically in the construction industry. So it was great, and it gives us basically an overview of where we're heading right now. But if I just may ask that question, can you kind of give us an example, specific example of how we use BIM to kind of, I can say, how do we use BIM? Just an example, how do we use BIM for digital transformation? Just an example.
Well, okay. BIM, as an example, BIM for digital transformation is like, for example, the way we keep data in our common data environment. Even though that is for, it goes for, as you said, for operation or for facility management, the way we work to get into that stage should be all digitally recorded. So that's what we call digital transformation. We are keeping all the way things that we use for that project in a common data environment in the cloud, so that we can use that for future facility management, as I said, and also for renovation or even demolition. So digitally, to keep that digital transformation within BIM is like progressing with all the with the technology that we're using for to get on the BIM process. That's what we all need, and also the proper training to do our models, to keep our information in a shared way, and also to keep the information that we have from that design and construction for the future use.
Yep. Yeah.
Is it clear?
Think, I think it's clear. That is what I wanted you to come, just to kind of like more explain a little bit exactly, because you kind of like brush it before when you presenting and saying something like, if you come into one of those rooms, you're gonna see a lot of 2D files up. You need to digitalize that thing, and that is basically the idea of BIM for operation. So how can we continue maintaining and make sure for example, project facility manager is not gonna be, having a lot of issues dealing with paperwork, where to save this, all of some information are missing, and all of those asset data need to be compiled and saved somewhere, for example, in BIM 360 documentation platform, something like that. So that is a great way where we're heading right now with BIM for operations. And I think you highlighted very well. Thank you very much, Mr. Tesema.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Any other question?
Okay, I think there's no question at all. So
yeah, there is no question at all from anyone. Let's just give it a minute, and if there is no question, we could round up the session.
okay.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. Sileshi.
Good evening.
Yeah, I wanted to know if we can have a copy of the recording in an email or something.
Well, hello, good evening.
Good
The
evening.
recording will be available on the BIM Africa YouTube channel.
Okay.
I said probably in a few hours or an hour after the session.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, BIM Africa, for having me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sileshi, and thank you everyone for attending the session. I hope it was insightful and educating for you, and you've been able to pick one or two things as a take-home for you to use in your businesses, homes, and offices. So till next month, thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sileshi.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Teaching was quite detailed.
And hope to see you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you, Mr. Sileshi.
Thank you.